Welcome back to the Law of Happy podcast, where together we crack the code on feeling good and allowing more of what we want into our lives. I'm your host, Lauren Tatner. I'm an attorney, author, wellness arts teacher, and inspirational clown. I'm so excited for you to meet today's special guest, Rachel Amar, laughter yoga leader and founder of Laughter Yoga with Raquelita. For about 17 years, Rachel worked in the corporate world. The pandemic came along, and that's when things began to shift for her in the most magical way. Rachel got certified as a laughter yoga leader because she knew she wanted to use her gift of laughter and ability to bring joy to other people. Rachel and her husband wanted to experience something different, so they both quit their corporate jobs and headed to Puerto Plata with their 5-year-old son because they felt, why not? Life is too short. Rachel started teaching laughter yoga over 6 months ago, online and in person, and she's loving the feeling of spreading joy and happiness and laughter every day. So I met Rachel recently through the Canadian Laughing Championships, and Rachel was the winner of the Canadian Laughing Championships and went on to represent Canada in the World Laughing Championships, an annual laughter event founded by my laughter friend, mentor, and recent podcast guest, Albert Nierenberg. I had so much fun laughing and chatting with Rachel about competing in a laughter competition and how she decided to leave her corporate job and head to the Dominican Republic. Rachel also leads us in some brand new laughter exercises, including one that was invented by her 5-year-old son. Please join me in giving a warm welcome to Rachel. Rachel, welcome. I'm so excited that you're our guest today on the Law of Happy podcast. So happy you're here. Thank you for being here.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
There's so much that I want to get into. You're a laughter yoga leader,
Yes.
like me. And I want to ask you, for somebody who's never heard of laughter yoga or who's just discovering it, how would you briefly describe it or summarize it?
I always have fun describing this because people really have ideas or predispositions of what laughter yoga is. So I always have a really fun time explaining what it is because then people's faces change. So I always say it's not going to be a downward dog for like an hour while you're laughing. It's not that at all. We're incorporating a lot of yoga breathing. So you're going to feel a tremendous amount of oxygen coming in through your body, and all that stale oxygen that's in your lungs is going to be released. You're going to feel an immense amount of release and joy and happiness at the end that you haven't probably felt in a while. And you're going to feel also like a childlike playfulness comes into effect, the eye contact, which we've lost, I find, in the last few years because of technology. So it's really a beautiful bonding experience. You get to meet people in different aspects because you see them laughing uncontrollably. Normally, like, you'll see that with close friends and family, but strangers, it's nice to see the uncontrollable laughing sometimes and the unity that it brings people together. That's my favorite part of laughter yoga. So in a nutshell, that's how I would describe it.
Okay. I love it. I love how you described it. It's so much fun. I want to get right into it. And I just want to mention too that this is exciting for me, well, for so many reasons. I love talking about laughter and sharing the power of laughter and experiencing it with other people who are passionate about it. But I met you not in person yet, but I met you recently online at the Canadian Laughing
Championships. Yes.
Yeah, where different people competed. I put competed in quotes because it's really like a laughter celebration, and where the competition is for the fun of it and to see
Yeah.
who has the most contagious laugh. And you won that, the
I
Canadian
couldn't
Laughing
believe
Champ.
it.
That
It was
was so
so
cool.
random, so random. And like, I auditioned last minute. I saw a post come up and I'm like, oh, let me just do something funny, whatever. I submitted it, and next thing I knew, I was part of the contestants and then part of the championships, and then boom, I won the Canadian one. I was like, what's going on here? I have no
Well,
idea.
that's amazing. And I know what went on. You're you have an incredible laugh. It's
Thank you.
beautiful. It's contagious. You just radiate so much joy and passion about laughter. And
Oh yeah.
I just loved laughing with you. And
Same. And the contestants too, there was like an electric fire magnetic energy on that Zoom. Like, people say you can't really feel energies at a distance. Yes, you can.
the World Laughing Championships, founded by our laughter friend and one of my laughing mentors, Albert Nierenberg. And
Amazing.
yeah, and then I saw you at the World Laughing Championships that
Yes.
took not too long ago. It's really like an amazing laughter or laughing celebration, bringing together amazing people from all over the world who are passionate about the power of laughter, and we experience it all together.
Yeah, it
and
was
we can never
quite a
speak.
ride on that Sunday, May 21st at the World Championships. There's a bit of adrenaline there, and just hearing everybody laughing, like my cheeks at the end were like so sore. I couldn't, I had to hold my face. And at one point, my friend who joined, who bought a ticket, she's like, Rachel, try and smile more because at one point you look really serious. I'm like, it's because my cheeks really hurt. I just need a 2-minute break, you know? It's quite the workout.
It is. It is quite the workout. So we need to, take periodic breaks to relax the muscles. But it's an amazing workout, like you said, for all the
The
muscles in
best.
the face, in the
Yeah.
whole body, especially like when we're getting the diaphragm belly area moving. It massages the muscles there.
It has so many benefits. People have no idea like what it does to the body, but increase in oxygen. I didn't even know the stale air would come out. Like I just did a conference recently with a small group of people, and I did this whole presentation about the benefits that it gives you, your body, people that suffer from anxiety, cancer, dementia. There's so many good things about laughter. And as laughter yoga leaders, we can take this another level. We can help children, adults, elderlies, lonely people. Like we can reach out to so many people who need this in their lives. They just don't know that it's out there.
Exactly. And we're describing the physiological benefits of laughter, but the benefits for the mind, body, and
The
spirit.
mind, body, and spirit. We're all humans. You and I, we're moms of young kids. Like I have one boy, and sometimes, you don't get the best night's sleep or you wake up crabby, but you still go on and try to make the best of your day and smile and laugh and make a funny video, try to inspire others to smile more. That's my goal. In my week, like I want to make sure that I got one, at least more than a few people, a handful smiling just from my Instagram, my classes, whatever it is. I just want people to smile from my posts.
And let me tell you, they do, because I do, and I see the reactions and the effect that you have on people all over. It's beautiful. And Rachel, I want to experience this. Do you have a favorite laughter exercise or one that we can do together now on Zoom and with the audio listeners and with the people who are going to be tuning in?
Of
On YouTube?
course. So a big one that I do with my classes recently is I make them do the Tarzan exercise. So it's you're doing the Tarzan call, but because it's so funny and silly, you end up laughing. So we're gonna do it together, okay? So you put your two fists literally on your chest, right above the chest, and we're gonna inhale, and we're gonna yell like Tarzan.
Oh.
Oh. You feel silly, and you just start laughing. And it feels good tapping the chest. It's like a clapping method, but with the fists. And I make the group usually do it 3 times, but sometimes it's a lot of inhaling, exhaling. I see people are out of breath, so I'm like, okay, we're gonna calm down. And then they throw in comments like, oh, I feel like Tarzan, or I'm like Jane. And it just gets like fun. So that's one of my favorites that I
I love
invented.
it. I love it. Rachel, I love it. You invented it, and I have never experienced this before because you invented it and we met recently. So I'm so excited.
So you could try it, you could do it, you could do whatever. So that's one of my favorite. Let's do it again. Ready?
Yes.
Inhale and go. Oh. And then people laugh at my face.
I
We
didn't
just start
join you. I didn't join you in the Tarzan or Jane call because I wanted to hear you do it. I didn't want to get distracted.
Okay. Yeah, no,
Okay.
all good, all good.
But can we do it together now?
Of course. Let's do it again.
Cool.
Ready?
Okay.
Inhale.
Yes.
Let's inhale. Let's go.
Okay.
And go. And you'd be surprised. Some people can last a really long time, like especially men. And I'm like, okay, it's good now. You're good. You can stop.
With the calling part or the laughing part or both?
The calling part. And then it's so long. It's so long. And I'm like, wow, how much oxygen do you have in there?
Oh, this is such a fun exercise, Rachel.
Isn't it fun?
Thank you. I love it. I just want to keep
Yeah.
doing that for the next bit, but we'll, there's
Hour.
also, no. No, I'm going to continue that later. But I want to, so thank you for sharing that. I want to ask you about so many things.
Pleasure.
So Rachel,
Yes. Go ahead.
I would love to know how you got into, how you discovered laughter as a form of exercise and a bit about your laughter journey.
Yes. So basically, I worked all my life, a good part of my life, 17 years in the corporate world. So I worked for TELUS head office and then a natural gas distributor in Quebec for almost 7 years. And throughout my careers there, the main thing that people would tell me is that I was always a ray of sunshine and that I always brought such beautiful energy to the workspace and that they loved my laugh. Everybody loved my laugh. And I never really thought anything of it. I'm like, that's who I am. Like, I just make everything fun, less corporate, quote unquote.
Mm.
And I bring the fun aspect to work. Like, I obviously we need to get our work done, but I always made it fun. And during the pandemic in Quebec, it was very strict and the curfews and all that. And I worked from home most of the time and I was like just getting in a bit of a funk, like a lot of people. So I'm like, you know what? And I had my vision board that I had done with my friend Jamie. She did a vision board workshop online. So I wrote to her everything that I want on my board. She mailed it to me, like such a cool concept.
Wow.
And I had laughter yoga on there for the longest time. For like a year, I would just stare at it in my office. And I'm like, okay, that's enough now. Let me get certified. And that's how it happened. February 2021, I got certified online with Liliane DeLeo because at the time we couldn't do it in person. And we were like, I think 6 or 7 girls that got trained at the same time. It was a fantastic group of people. And I didn't really do anything until we decided to move temporarily to Dominican. And we were like on a sabbatical, like taking life easy because we were exhausted from just life. Me and my husband decided, let's come here and try it out for a few months.
Wow.
And then that's where I started doing yoga, not laughter yoga, just regular yoga at Natura Cabana, which is in Cabarete. And when I saw the view, the temple, I'm like, oh my God, I have to speak to management here and see if I could do laughter yoga. And they let me. They're like, no problem. Yeah.
Wow.
So I started there. Then I found another place and I do family laughter yoga too. I do with the parents once a month with the kids. So I've like really blossomed in a sense here. But I also do online courses, online classes, so I can have like a good balance of both. That's my story.
Thank you for sharing that. I find it so inspiring. I can definitely relate to what you said about the corporate world, and I love how you brought the fun there, and then you just found ways to just keep sharing your joy and your amazing laugh and the fun that you like to incorporate into things, and the fact that you and your husband decided to move to try it out temporarily in Dominican. How I can't even imagine. How is that? I'm living
to be very honest, it's incredible because this place where we are in Sosua Cabarete in the north of Dominican, Puerto Plata, it's like you meet people from all over the world. It's not only locals. You'll meet like a lot of Canadians have moved here, surprisingly. So there's a big community of Canadians. And then it's a surf town also. You'll meet people from Europe, everywhere, Israel, the Caribbeans. That's what I love most about being here so far is that you have such an amazing mix of people that bring different things to the table. Like you'll do groceries. Like yesterday I was doing groceries and I met this lady in the coffee aisle. We started talking, exchange numbers. I don't think that would happen really in Montreal, to be honest. People are more in their zone and less open. I find here people are so open and they see someone new and they're like, oh, what's up? Like, where are you from? And it's just a beautiful community so far. I love it.
Wow.
It's so different. Yeah, it's very different. Beautiful.
I just love hearing about this, and I'm so happy that you guys are all doing well there.
Yeah, and we came here with an open mind, like not knowing. Most of my family would ask me, "Is it forever?" I'm like, "No, nothing's forever. Like we're going to try." And the beauty of life is that it's sad because a lot of us follow a cookie cutter recipe, and the minute you go outside of the recipe, people are like, "Oh my God, you're crazy! What are you gonna go do there?" I'm like, I'm learning a new language. Like I had a good base of Spanish, but learning a new language. Our son is in an international school. We could pull him out anytime. We could leave. Like it's just beautiful to experience something else because I've always, my whole life, I was in Canada. I never lived anywhere else. And I don't know, COVID, the pandemic just, I don't know, did something to me. It just changed me completely.
There's so much I want to ask you. So many of us feel that we've got to follow a certain way of doing things, the way that we've always been living. How did it happen for you? Was there a particular meditation that you did, or did you put a question out there to the universe, and to, like, how did you know when it felt right for you? How and when did you decide, okay, we're going to do this?
My husband wanted to move years ago, like to Western Canada. And I'm like, oh, I'm not ready. I'm not ready. And then I don't know, all of a sudden during, like I said, the pandemic just made us just shift. And a lot of people in the world shifted.
Mhm.
People started working online and going in other countries and working places. So it like manifested. And then we just said, at the end of the day, life is about experiences. It's not about material, it's about living. And what struck me most, to be honest, to answer your question, is when I was working in the corporate world, there was a director that got really sick. And every day I would see him so dedicated, like on phone calls, meetings, pacing early in the morning, leaving late at night. And he got diagnosed with a really bad illness.
Mhm.
And may he rest in peace. He passed away, but he struck me because I'm like, I don't want to be him who was about to retire in a year or two and worked so hard in his life that now, unfortunately, he didn't even get to enjoy his retirement. So that's when something clicked. I'm like, I don't want to wait till I'm retired. I want to live
Mhm.
now, no matter what. Like, no matter what happens, I'm living in the moment. I'm not gonna wait till I'm retired. There's no way.
Yes, exactly. Is there any practical advice that you can give to somebody who loves the idea of, let's say, doing something outside of cookie cutter, but they don't know, like, how to make that next
Where to
step,
start?
or right?
Example. So what we did is we did a lot of homework and research. We just didn't pick up and leave.
Mhm.
But what I would recommend is if you think of doing something like that, is take a 10-day trip. That's what we did. We came for 10 days. We scoped it out. We stayed in an Airbnb. We did groceries. We asked all kinds of questions to people we met. And then we said, okay, it's feasible. So we went back home and then organized our stuff. But we were always like looking, is it Dominican? Is it maybe Ottawa? Is it Florida? Is it Western Canada? And then we ended up here, which I
Mm.
have no regrets so far. It's been such an amazing experience thus far. But we're not close to the fact that we might do the back and forth, like Canada, Dominican. We're thinking of that now, like the back and forth more than staying here all year round because the summers here are really hot.
Okay. Thank you for sharing all that.
It's a pleasure.
Rachel, I'm wondering if we can do another laughter exercise together. I don't know if there's one that you have in mind, or if we can make one up together.
I
Yeah.
want to do my mantra because the mantra with Dr. Madan Kataria is ho ha ha ha. I did a spin to the Raquelita style, my style. So mine is 1, 2, cha. 1, 2, cha. 1, 2, cha. Very good, very good. Arriba.
Love it. Okay. So we'll do it again. And for our audio listeners, we're clapping with our hands. How would you describe it? Our hands in a prayer-like position.
Kind of like a prayer if you're clapping. So it's
Right.
clap, 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 clap. So like that. But the words are 1, 2, cha. 1, 2,
Two, cha.
1,
1,
2,
2,
cha, cha.
cha, cha.
Good. Very
Very
good.
good.
Arriba.
Arriba!
And then next we need to have a tequila shot.
I love your spin on the ho ho ha ha ha.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there are different parts. Thank you for teaching us your Raquelita chant, and
Thank you. You're welcome.
yeah, and what's cool is that we incorporate different things, like you were showing us in laughter yoga. So the clapping with the palm to palm, fingers to fingers, where we stimulate acupressure points in the
Yes.
hands,
In
that
the
gets our
hand.
energy up. So I love that you led us in that clap, and with the you said the 1, 2, cha cha
1,
cha
2, cha,
cha
cha.
cha
Yeah.
cha. Love it. And
Yeah.
then you can even, we're sitting now, but you can even then add in, if you know, the cha-cha steps. You can,
Exactly. You could incorporate the dancing. And that's what
yeah.
I do in my classes. I do a mix of everything. I play music, we dance on a song, we do the exercises, we do the meditation at the end. But my favorite thing to do is ask people at the beginning of my class, when's the last time they laughed and what made them laugh? And surprisingly, a lot of people can answer me.
I believe it.
They can't answer. I don't remember. So in my head, I'm like, that's terrible. But then I say out loud, that's why you're here.
Exactly.
Yeah,
So it's so true because as adults, I find it's at a certain point we stop, the laughter stops flowing like it may have flowed when we were kids,
absolutely. Yeah.
and then we rely on external sources to make us laugh, like a joke. Did somebody say something funny? Did we watch a funny movie? And here we're not leaving laughter to chance. We're choosing to laugh as an exercise to get all the mind, body, soul benefits.
Yeah.
It's so exciting. It's so amazing.
It's incredible. And I'm very happy though to see that there's such a community out there.
I just love our community.
So that's what I love about laughter yoga is that it's another world, it's another vibe, it's another community. And for people who are feeling alone, I think it's the best thing to do is to join into these laughter yoga clubs or the community, get certified or whatever you need to do to get in or to be part of. It's amazing.
It definitely. And I will have all the links in the show notes of how and people can connect with you, Rachel, and how people can find you online or in person, because you do workshops in the Dominican where you're currently
Where I currently
living.
am, I teach twice a week in person, but I also started lunchtime laughter yoga classes, 30-minute classes online. And it goes like this, and people leave and they're like on another vibration and frequency. They love it. I started maybe 2 weeks ago, and I'm getting some weeks I have people, some weeks I have less, but I do it every Friday at 12 Eastern time, and it's perfect for people who want disconnect during lunchtime.
It's amazing you're offering all this, and so much fun. And I wanted to ask you, because what was that like? I mean, competing, we talked a bit about the Canadian Laughing Championships, but then you went on to represent Canada in the World Laughing Championships, an annual laughter celebration competition. So what was that like to represent Canada and to participate? Because I was there, I was online,
I
and
saw.
and it was an incredible event. I had never seen anything like
Me
it.
neither.
It was
Me
intense
neither.
in the best way possible. Like, yeah.
Absolutely. It was an incredible experience. And I did have, I think, some sound issues because Fanny would message me like, oh, I hear you, I don't hear you. So I was like taking my headset, putting it back on, but laughing through it all because at the end of the day, the show must go on, like Albert and the other co-host said, right? So I just kept going. I was myself, and I'm very proud of myself. I came fourth, which is pretty damn good for the
Is
first
that
time. Huh?
in the world? Yes.
In
Yeah.
the
World Championships. No, you were amazing. How did you train for that? Seriously, because it's a workout. So
How did I train for that? I do my weekly classes, so already there I'm getting practice. I have a 5-year-old son who's extremely funny, so I'm laughing all the time. Like he just says the most random things, and yeah, I don't know. I have an easy laugh. Even when it's not funny, I'm laughing, which is not good sometimes. But
but
I did
it's
some mindfulness, some breathing before logging on.
Did you have a favorite laughter game that you experienced at the World Laughing Championships?
My favorite was the ruffle. The ruffle was my absolute favorite.
So what is
The rolling on the floor one that people were
yeah.
throwing themselves on the floor. I threw myself on the wall and my legs were going. That was my favorite one.
Okay, so how would you describe that? Can we
Do you want me
can
to
we
show
do
you what I did
yeah, just a little, like a sample. I don't want to
so that I don't get injured? So basically they told me, okay, go, it's your turn. So I was like, like throwing yourself everywhere.
Oh my gosh. So there would be like a laughter theme or game or exercise, right? That they would
Every category, they would say, okay, now we're doing the ruffle. So they would call out your name. Okay, Rachel, your turn. Okay, Amir, your turn. Okay, Carla, your turn. Then there would be a voting poll. And then they did, what else did they? The gradient laughter, the evil laughter. There were so many that they did. And the last one was the most, I think, contagious one, and Carla, the amazing Carla Brown won. Like they were all so good. Marnix, Amir, and Carla were incredible. To be part of that like top that roster was like insane. I was like, oh boy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
amazing people and laughers and people with high, beautiful energies
Oh
and
yeah.
vibrations.
Yeah.
You mentioned your son is 5 years
5,
old,
yes.
and it
Yeah.
sounds like you laugh a lot together. Do you have a laughter exercise that you or game that you like to do with your son?
Yeah. Actually, he came up with this one. He came up with the karate laughter exercise. So you basically put your hands as if you're going to do a karate move. You're going to inhale and go. And then you do the karate chop. He's come up with amazing exercises, my son. He's my inspiration, I'm telling you.
Oh, so that's beautiful. So just for our, especially our audio listeners, we're miming, we were miming or simulating karate inspired
like movements.
moves.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
movements, yeah. We're
no,
not
I'm not
actually fighting.
We're not fighting, and I'm not a karate instructor.
Me neither.
It's just to simulate physical movements and then to laugh. To use it as a prompt to laugh and to get our body moving.
And to get the body moving, yeah.
Yeah, so I love this. And you can get so creative. And I love how your son came up with this. So it's amazing, like you said, we can do these laughter exercises with our children, and who are such inspirations for this too, because their laugh seems to be much more spontaneous.
Yeah, and free flowing and just easy, right? And I find since my son sees me teaching laughter yoga and that I do meditations at the end of every class, like a 5 to 7 minute meditation, he sometimes sits and just closes his eyes and goes like this, like in the meditation position. And I'm like, this is incredible. Like they see everything you do. They see everything and they hear everything you say. So it's just incredible to see the imprint that I'm leaving on my son at such a young age, that he can understand and practice what I'm doing. So it's really beautiful.
It is beautiful. This is something that I like to ask. Is there a question that I didn't ask you, but would have been a great question to ask you, Rachel? Or is there anything that you would like to share with us, like advice or?
Oh yeah. I have something that comes to mind right away. Starting a new business, no matter what you do, whatever the line of business you're doing, start a business, a new brand, a new everything. It takes time to build. And the society we're in, or the world we're in right now, everything has to happen like this. And if it doesn't, we get, well, for myself, I'm like, oh, am I on the right path with laughter yoga? And some weeks I would have classes and nobody would show up. I'd have nobody, but I would still show up. And sometimes I'd be like, okay, a little bit of a down, but then I try to pivot and tell myself, okay, nobody showed up today. That's okay. Maybe I can meditate right now. I can have time for me. Do a funny video. Think of what other exercise I could do during my class. So alone time sometimes too makes you reflect on all that. But the biggest piece of advice I can give someone who's starting off in laughter yoga or in any business is to be consistent, because someone gave me that piece of advice and I was like, oh, they're right. Be consistent, show up every day and every week, no matter what the outcome is, whether it brings you something or not, but always showing up for you and showing up for the people that are going to come. And sometimes I have one person in my class and that person will like, we're going to do this, you and me, just alone. I said, yes, we're going to do it. You're going to get a one-on-one. Where would you go in a yoga studio? We're going to get one-on-one treatment. We're going to do the one-on-one. How many classes I did one-on-one in the last few weeks? A lot. But again, my friend Emily told me that soul needed you to themselves.
Yeah.
So I found that so cool. Yeah.
Rachel, thank you for sharing what you just shared there. First of all, the concept, or what you mentioned about how with the social media and how everything appears to be instantaneous and overnight.
It does, yeah.
No, yeah, it appears that way, but it's not. So to just
not.
Be gentle with yourself and keep doing what feels right for you and just trusting your path and your journey. So thank you for sharing that. And I love how you choose to reframe or refocus your perception, your way of thinking about something. Even if one person shows up, that's beautiful. that's a blessing for
It
that
is. It is
person.
a blessing. Yeah.
And they're so lucky. My God.
Yeah.
And wow. What did they do to manifest that? I just get so excited to connect with,
No
with,
kidding.
with you and others from our community and people who are doing inspiring, uplifting things. It's not about being happy all the time. That's not possible.
No,
We're
it's
human.
if that's someone, then there's something off.
Right.
There's something not balanced. No?
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
So it's not about being happy all the time. Know that there are different tools and techniques and ways that we can feel some relief if we're feeling
Oh,
overwhelmed or
yeah.
feeling
Mhm.
upset or sad. There are ways that we can, and the laughter for me is just an
It's
amazing
natural for
hack.
you too. Yeah, you have such an amazing laugh.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
you
you.
really do. And laughter yoga too, the amount of release that you feel and the difference in just the face of a person. I started taking before and after pictures because it struck me. Like someone would come in, look like almost like angry, and then leave like feeling like they just got like a facial or something.
Oh, yeah. It's
It's
powerful. It's
crazy.
amazing. I'm so happy to connect with you and to have you as a guest. And I appreciate
Thank
it so
you.
much. Thank you. And so, Rachel, yes, for the goodbye
Yeah, we'll
laughter
say
exercise.
we'll do the goodbye exercise, the goodbye laughter exercise. Ready? We're gonna
Yes.
inhale. Let's inhale together. And
And
say
then we're going to wave.
bye-bye.
Bye. Oh. So we're laughing and waving goodbye to our
Yes.
audio
And how about
listeners.
we
Oh,
send
yeah.
kisses?
We sent.
We're sending each other kisses,
Yes.
virtual kisses.
Virtual kisses. Can I give you a virtual hug?
Thank you. Oh, yes.
Okay. Oh. I had water there. Oh, and I'm going
Thank
to,
you.
yeah, thank you so much, Rachel. Okay, thank you for being a guest, and we'll speak and laugh soon.
For
Okay.
sure. Thanks a million.
Thank
Have a
you.
beautiful day.
You too.
Ciao.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for having tuned into this Law of Happy episode. If you smiled, laughed, or felt inspired, please subscribe, rate, review, and share the Law of Happy podcast with someone you'd love to have fun with. And if you'd like to laugh with me as a guest on the show or in a customized program, you can email me at lauren@lawofhappy.com. I look forward to laughing with you soon.